Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Runnin the Paint podcast. As you can see, it is just a three-man weave today. Coach Cove had some better plans. He's too good to be on the show today, so it's just a three-man
How
weave. But
rude.
yeah, yeah,
I skipped my date to be here.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy. But how are
All
you
right,
two doing today?
doing great, doing great. Ready to go over our tier list for the NBA Finals since 2010.
Yes, it
I've been
does.
better. It's been a rough start to the week, man.
Why?
Like, I woke up yesterday to the most devastating news of my life.
With what?
My quarterback is injured.
Okay, stop.
Wrong
Okay,
sport.
okay, okay.
Wrong sport.
And this is
That reminds me. No, I'm editing and making a segment. There will be a football segment coming soon from me because football is my main sport.
All right.
great to mention on the basketball podcast.
Yes, Jackson.
Great talk, great talk.
Okay, but yeah, so it does look a little bit different because Nick is not on here, but we do have a tier list that we are going to go over. We are going to tier rank every NBA Finals since 2010. That is going to be a lot of fun, especially since
Are
there's
we
not a
just
whole lot of news to get into.
yeah?
But
Are we just ranking like the finals as a whole?
Yeah, just
Like
the finals,
like
not the
finals
playoffs.
MVP, like everything.
I'll put everything in
It's
the.
just the tier list. Yeah, just the
Okay,
tier
yeah.
list for
So,
ranking the finals as a whole.
because
We're
some
not
like
doing the
finals
playoffs.
MVPs might like diminish some of these rankings.
Okay, interesting.
That
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I
okay.
don't. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
We
well,
may
we'll see. We'll wait till we get there. What
look.
do we have any news?
Well, main thing we have to talk about is, of course, Tuesday for the in-season tournament. I guess it was also NBA Fight Night. There were like 3 to 4 skirmishes that occurred, but the main one was, of course, in the Minnesota Golden State game, where like a minute and a half into the game, with a combined 0 points scored in the game, we had 3 players getting ejected and like 4 guys getting fined. It was crazy. You got Klay Thompson and Draymond Green getting ejected for Golden State, Jaden McDaniels for Minnesota, and then Draymond Green gets suspended for 5 games for his headlock on Rudy Gobert. Jackson, defend your boy. He just that was not fair. Like, what the heck?
And Draymond's a sissy. Draymond's a loser, man. He's lucky. He's lucky. He's lucky. Rudy didn't get out of that headlock because Rudy would have beat him up. Draymond is, yeah. I made my own personal tier list yesterday, and Draymond is in his own tier.
I think
It's called the Wasted
Draymond,
tier.
once his contract is up, should go straight to the UFC. I think that was pretty spot on. That was good.
Him and Brock Lesnar should have their own like pay-per-view for a belt, dude.
That was nuts though. That was absolutely chaotic. Jaden and Clay obviously should have gotten ejected. Rudy
should not be fined. This is blasphemy. The NBA is stupid. They just want his money.
My biggest takeaway has to deal with, at least from that fight, like obviously Draymond's absolute scumbag and should be suspended and fined and all that kind of stuff and ejected because he almost choked Rudy out. However, my biggest takeaway was nobody defended Rudy. Cat, Ant, nobody had his back. They were all just watching Draymond just take him out.
Ant was tired, okay? Ant would have helped if he wasn't tired.
Nobody likes Rudy over there. Oh my goodness.
No. Ant texted me. He said he likes Rudy.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah?
I need to get on that text chain.
Nope.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But yeah, it's crazy. So we got Clay, Gobert, and McDaniels all fined $25,000 each. And then
Draymond
Draymond,
$770 basically.
is that in total for all the 5 games he's missing?
Yeah,
they
about
said like
under
800,000.
Okay. So yeah, it was just crazy. And like, I've been a guy, like, I don't, even though like I'm a Cavs fan, I
always defend him.
No, I'm not a defender of Draymond, because this is terrible, and he definitely has like some dirty plays. He's been on a terrible stretch recently of just like going crazy.
And he's ugly.
He's definitely got the salt and pepper in there now.
He's gotten older. Yep.
He definitely has been. But like, it's just inexcusable. Like, I don't know. Like he's gotten what is it, 17 ejections now throughout his career, most among current players, and
Yeah,
it's
Rasheed
just
Wallace does
crazy.
otherwise.
Like
Rasheed Wallace is like, you're not touching my record.
Now, imagine if him and Sheed were on the same team, or like no one. That would be even
Add Dylan Brooks to the mix, and you might have like.
dude, even if they weren't on the same team, them just going against each other in that same time period would be nuts.
Now that's what you need to see.
That would be absolutely nuts if they just went against each other. Oof.
yeah,
Well, I mean, it can't get much worse than Malice at the Palace in terms of NBA fights. So who knows?
Oof.
yeah, it was the third quickest ejection in NBA history. First was Sheed.
Yep.
Then the second fastest was Isaiah Thomas with the Wizards. You guys remember there was the one play he like pushed the ref or something like a minute and a half into the game.
Oh, I do remember that.
Crazy thing is, my dad and I, we so you know my the one thing on my bucket list is to get to every arena to see a game.
That's mine too.
I was at the Wizards game and I had on a Cavs Isaiah Thomas jersey and he got thrown out a minute and a half in. And we're all just like, what the heck? That was crazy.
As he was walking out, you should have just waved the Cavs Zeke or Isaiah Thomas jersey and like, hey, here we go.
Yeah. But yeah, that was
I've only been
something
to
else.
one. Oh,
Joey, have you been to any besides Cleveland?
I have not been to any arenas. I have been to PNC Park for baseball.
oh.
Pirates, beautiful stadium. I would love to go visit more. It's just, it's not my
crazy?
biggest bucket list item. My biggest bucket list item is to go swimming with sharks in like a giant metal cage in the middle of the ocean.
Oh my
That would
goodness.
be sick.
Sick. I've never been to I've been to a Cavs game, I've been to a Guardians game. I've never been to another any other arena in any sport.
You've never been to a Browns game? For someone who said football's his main sport, that's shocking.
I'm a diehard Browns fan, but tickets are so much more expensive for that than they are. For the other two.
They definitely are. That's true.
I'm poor.
It's a Browns town, dude. It's a Browns town. That's what happens.
I know.
All right. Are we ready to do our tier list, though?
Let's get into the tier list. Every single NBA final since 2010. So, of course, Joey, being the oldest one out of the three of us, has lived through these finals.
Yeah, y'all were what, 6 years old when the 2010 finals took place?
Yes, but I've gone back over my life and I have watched like every finals game since like 2005. I've needed to update my history so I know what I'm talking about these early series because
those were the golden years of the finals.
Dude, for sure, for sure. But yeah, man, let's get into it. Let's start off with 2010 Lakers Celtics. This was a 7-game series. Lakers pulled it out. This was, of course, Kobe's 5th ring.
Do you have a tier list to present?
I do have a tier. Yes. So the guys on the video on the call, they can't see the tier list, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just
that's fine. No
technical reasons, but I have it here to present to the viewers.
Sure, you got it.
Yes, I do have it. So yeah, man, let's get into this series. Joey, do you want to get started with this series?
2010 Celtics Lakers, biggest rivalry in sports with the Ohio State, Michigan, Yankees, Red Sox.
Ew.
Like Browns, it's like this is like one of those rivalries, and to see it, Kobe, Powell versus the big three in Boston. Oh man, that was a fun series, but
baby disrespect is crazy.
I hate the Celtics as a Cavs fan. They've ruined my heart so much and my dreams. So personally, at that time, I was rooting for Kobe and Powell, and hey man, they got it done. It was a lot of fun though. I would probably put that one at like an A tier for me. That was such a good one. That was the last Kobe ring. That was just absolutely phenomenal.
Sorry, they put a really, really good graphic on the screen about the longest current win streaks in the NBA.
All right. What about you guys? I want to hear from you.
I mean, I didn't watch this one, obviously, because I was 6 years old, like you said. But I mean, it's iconic. Obviously, Kobe's last ring. Like, who doesn't like Kobe? If you don't like Kobe, you can't call yourself a basketball fan at that point. Unless, no, you just can't. You can't say you don't like Kobe. But I have to agree. I put it probably, I'd say B tier just because I didn't watch it.
That's
Interesting.
fair. That's fair. What about you, Miles?
So this is a classic finals. Definitely one of the better ones throughout this, span of time. You've got the great storyline of Celtics versus Lakers. This was for title 17 or oh, no. The Lakers, this was for them to get 17. The Celtics would have gotten 18.
Yeah, this was to tie him for the most championships at the time.
That is correct. And this was a back and forth series. And like I was just like looking like the difference in play styles now. Like you look at the scores of those games. The Lakers scored 102 in game 1, the Celtics scored 103 in game 2. Those were the only 100-point games in that
Technical
series.
difficulties. Oh no.
Oh boy, am I slow again?
You cut out there for a second.
Oh, okay.
You were saying they scored 102 was the last thing I heard.
Yeah, they just scored. There were 2 100-point games in this series, and the pace of this finals was played at like an 85. And the lowest pace currently in the NBA is the Houston Rockets at like 95.7. So that's just crazy when you think about it.
It is a completely different game than it was back then. Like obviously you watch the playoffs and everyone talks about like the defense ramps up. Oh man, like even back then, like in the regular season, like 110 was a high scoring game, like a really high scoring game.
Yeah.
Like anything over 100, it's almost like a guaranteed win in the especially in the finals and the playoffs back then. Oh man.
Especially when you look at the game 7.
Much fun to watch. So much fun to watch.
Especially when you look at the game 7 too. Like that's just a classic game. The Lakers coming back, and in a game where Kobe didn't have the best game, it was Ron Artest and Sasha Vujacic who came up clutch in the final minute, which is still crazy to think about.
Sasha Vujacic was lights out. He was he was like one of the best role player, bench player, like guys that you would want on your team back in the day. Oh,
sorry, I keep swinging my elbow by accident. I hope there's nobody here. Sorry.
Hey, that was Meta World Peace.
Oh yeah, but no, like yeah, for Vujacic too, like those are high pressure free throws for a guy that wasn't really in the rotation that much. The guy played 7 minutes per game, and you just come in at the end of game 7 and they give you the ball to make the free throws. That was big. Of course, Powell was good. For the Celtics, like this, it was a pretty well-rounded attack, but I was like, Rondo was great in that series besides the free throws. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, no, his shooting back then was awful.
Brutal.
But dude, he was one of the most electric point guard, probably top 3 point guards, and he couldn't even score, but top 3 point guards at that time.
It reminds me of the one game on the Pelicans where he had like 4 points, 7 rebounds, and 25 assists in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's
the way he plays.
But anyways, because we got a lot of finals to get to. I was teetering between either an A or an S on this one, so I'm gonna go with an A.
Yeah, I said A. Goggin said B. You said S or A.
And the only reason I put B is just because I didn't watch it.
Yeah, this is just a classic series.
Oh, so good.
All right, next series, we've got the 2011 finals. This was the first of 8 straight appearances for LeBron James, but of course
Mark Cuban's only championship.
It was one of the biggest upsets in NBA Finals history, with the Dallas Mavericks winning in 6 games.
First finals with the first season of the Big 3 down in Miami.
Yeah.
My Glorious didn't play very well, so I don't know.
Oh man, that finals was nuts. It's funny because back in the day, you guys might not remember. You guys definitely don't remember, but when Dirk Nowitzki in like the in the mid 2000s won MVP, and that Mavericks team was like a 1 or 2 seed.
And
they got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah,
they lost in the first round. Then they come in this finals, probably Dirk's and everyone was already talking this might be one of Dirk's last runs. It's already a miracle they made it to the finals. And then they beat the big three, and Dirk was unconscious. Unconscious. Like, no one could stop him. He was driving in, scoring layups on this incredibly young and freakishly athletic Miami Heat team. Like, no. There was Dirk would played like an MVP. That it was clearly like one of his last times to be that competitive, and it was phenomenal to watch. He was one of the most clutch play performances I've seen in a long.
I will say like this, the first finals I watched was like 2014, just because like I was young, like we all said. But I've watched a lot of highlights on this one. I've seen a lot of clips from this one, like this series, and like LeBron wasn't very good, but D Wade was very good if I remember right. Like D Wade played really good.
Yeah.
D Wade's been there and already won a shit before, so like this was like his second time. It was more for Wade, or it was more for LeBron and Bosh for them, and
like this was I'd say this was like the legacy series for Dirk. Like this cemented Dirk as an all-time great for sure.
This performance cemented him as being one of the greatest power forwards of all time.
Yeah, I guess Joey, a question, because obviously, like, this will be the last time we say this. We were both young, so we didn't know too much about the time then.
Yeah.
But going into that season and going into the playoffs, I have to assume that the Lakers were probably the favorites in the West, right? Like, who were the favorites that year? It was not the Mavericks, right?
No, the Mavericks. I think the Mavericks were probably, if I remember, like a bottom 6 team or a bottom 5 seed in the.
No, because they might have been the 3 seed, or maybe they were the 2 seed, because I looked through their playoff run. They beat the Brandon Roy Blazers. They swept the Lakers team that had just won the title the year before. That was Phil Jackson's last year as head coach. And then they beat the young Thunder with Durant, Westbrook, and Harden.
I was going to say the Thunder team was very intriguing, but obviously we'll see them next finals. But this playoff run, everyone was like, oh, this might be a team to compete in the next coming years, but it wasn't like a legit one. Everyone thought the Lakers were going to make it again. Everyone thought that it was going to be finally LeBron versus Kobe in the finals. And again, we got robbed of it. But I'm not complaining. To me, this is, I'm going to put it A tier, but it's right on the brink of being an S tier, just because I'm a big fan of Dirk. I am a big fan of Dirk, and he was
I agree. I'm a big fan of Dirk, but same reason for this. I didn't watch it, so I'm going to agree with you on A tier.
I agree.
Very close to S tier. Very close to S tier.
Yeah.
I agree. And I guess we should have prefaced this beforehand, or talked about this beforehand. Like, what are you guys basing these off of? Like, these rankings off of?
I'm saying like finals MVP, like competitiveness, a lot of legacies for some of my favorite players. Like, there's a lot, just finals in general.
Yeah, I would put it like, obviously just watching all of them religiously on the TV with my family and friends and stuff like that, and going to like watch parties when the Cavs were there and all that kind of stuff. I would put like the way it made me feel, the energy around the finals, like the hype. I can remember the hype going into it, who's like the hot seats, like legacy games. Like I said, we thought this was going to be the Kobe LeBron finals finally, and it didn't happen, which is disappointing for a lot of people. But the way Dirk played, it was just incredible. But yeah, I'm going more on just, I don't know, how I feel with competitiveness, a little bit of everything, but more of in that time period, how it meant. Because there are, obviously, if you're looking just like the style of gameplay, like you already mentioned at the last finals, like only 100 point or 200 point games before in the finals before, like the gameplay it's a completely different game. It is all shooting through. Before it was way more physical. The refs would get down and dirty. Like they would let him go. Defense was insane. Like it's just.
Oh no! I mean, we did someone get choked out 2 days ago. So
that is true. But that would have been allowed. That would have just been like
that would have been allowed.
You would have been like, okay, maybe you're
Ron
suspended
Artest
for
would
a
have come
game.
in
You
with
can
a
come back for game
sidekick
7.
or something.
You can come back for
He would have
Yeah.
come in with a select WWE out here.
But yeah, I'd say I'm basing off of competitiveness and like the storylines that come out of the series.
Storylines are
I think
huge,
that's
yeah.
very important. And like especially with the Mavericks, like I think like probably the most iconic like moment may is definitely the end of game 2 with the Mavericks just coming back. That was
Dude,
huge. They would have gone
that
down 2-0 and that could have been a whole different series if Dirk and them didn't go crazy.
think about this team for like the Mavericks for a second. You talk about it. It's almost
Old.
almost a washed up kid. And
It's
I say
old.
almost because he played for a couple more years, but this was his last good year. They had Sean Marion, Tyson Chandler, who was a defensive player of the year,
A few years later.
and like, he went on the USA team. But like, I remember even playing 2K, he was like barely an 80 overall rated. Like everyone knew he wasn't that good, but like in that team, that system, Rick Carlisle, the reason he's like a coach and is still regarded as such a huge coach in the league is because he got the best and the last little bit of like greatness out of everybody on that team.
Yeah, for sure. Gotta give some shout outs to Jason Terry. The Jet was
The
huge
was
off the bench.
clutch, absolutely clutch. Oh,
was
yeah, that
Peja
team.
on that team?
Who?
Was Peja on that team, or did Peja come after?
He was at the end of the bench.
Because I remember there was the one game where him and Jason Terry were just going back and forth on threes.
Oh yeah, that was with the that was against the Lakers.
Yup.
Yeah, you had Peja Stojakovic at the end of the bench. You had Karan Butler, who got injured midway through the regular season, then didn't even play in the playoffs.
I think they also had the mini man JJ Barea was.
I was gonna bring him up. No, that was
mini man.
Dude, they switched their starting lineup mid-series, and he was starting alongside Jason Kidd, and it worked.
Huge. He was huge, and he's like, I was gonna say for anybody that doesn't know JJ Barea, man was like 5'5".
He's small, like yeah.
He was my height out there.
Man was a dog.
Yeah, for sure. Like great final series there.
Yeah.
Let's go to 2012. We've got LeBron getting his first championship. Miami's second one as the Heat beat the young OKC Thunder in 5 games in a series where afterwards fans were thinking, "Oh, it's okay, OKC. You'll be back here every year."
Yeah.
That really stinks.
That was bad.
No, I'm so glad they didn't win because that bearded sissy doesn't deserve a ring.
He played a bad finals. He played a bad finals that year.
He had a great
the big surprise.
Run.
Harden played bad in the finals.
He had a great playoff run, but that finals was pretty brutal for him. They relied heavily on KD and a lot of the role players.
And Westbrook. I know he went off in Game 4.
Yeah, that is true.
And they lost.
Westbrook's just a beast.
Yeah, no.
I wish Westbrook got a ring, but at the same time, I'm glad.
Yeah, this was back in the like 2-3-2 format of the finals. So the Thunder had home court. They won Game 1, and I'm sure that the storylines were all just like, "Oh boy, it's happening again with the Heat."
Here we go. Yep.
But then the Heat took Game 2, and then they just steamrolled them after that. Especially the Game 5 third quarter is insane. The Mike Miller masterclass to close out the finals.
One shoe. One shoe. Mike Miller is like goated.
Yeah,
like,
Mike
absolutely lights out.
Mike Miller, Shane Battier was on fire.
Shane Battier was such a good defender, but I always hated him, man. I always hated
in 2K. Shane Battier was every time in 2K. Shane Battier would annoy me. Him and Jeremy Lamb, dude.
Oh yeah. I was watching it. Obviously, at the time, I was being in Cleveland. It hurt a lot watching LeBron win it there, but I would personally put this almost at like a C tier as a finals.
I agree.
And,
it was
and it was a good finals. It was fine, but especially after they lost that first year or that first year of the Big Three against the Mavericks the year before. Everyone knew. Like, even I know you said like, oh, some people were panicking after the OKC won that first game and had home court. I'm telling you, everybody knew Miami was going to steamroll. Everyone knew it's like, oh, they're not letting this happen again. They're going to steamroll, and that's exactly what they did.
I mean,
LeBron was incredible. Everyone just showed up. Everyone showed up. Everyone was like, this is why we came together. This is what we're meant to do. It was competitive. We all wish that Thunder team stuck together.
Dude, that would have been so awesome, man.
But
actually, I probably wouldn't have begun to hate Harden if. Well, I also wouldn't have begun to hate Harden.
That was probably the biggest disappointment. I was going to say the after effects from that finals was probably the bigger disappointment from that finals was because that was the last time that we saw that Thunder Big Three. And everyone, one of the biggest would have beens is what would have that team done if they stuck together? We say every year one of those big stars gets moved. Westbrook always is moving. Harden has been moving. KD is always moving. They're always moving, but that team, man, if they stuck together, that team would have been into the finals every year.
Yeah, I'm thankful they split up. Just being a Rockets fan, but
yeah, I would put it at a C tier though.
Yeah, I would too. Also, because like, I don't know, are there really any like crazy like in-game moments that really stand out as like great historical moments from that finals?
Absolutely not.
Not really.
Not that I can think of.
Unfortunately, like you just have smaller moments. But
as I say, in the next coming finals, there's some big key moments.
Oh my goodness!
But in this finals, I agree. There was not a whole lot of standout moments other than the Mike Miller shoe game.
Are we putting a time limit on some of these finals? Because we might have to for you two.
Why?
No, we'll be fine.
You know which one I'm talking about.
All right. So we say that one's a C tier. Let's go to the next one. Are you happy, Goglin?
I'm very happy.
All right.
Not really.
San Antonio Spurs versus Miami Heat in 2013.
S-tier.
This is an S tier finals.
Or wait, yeah.
This was incredible.
Almost the same thing where the Heat were like everyone thought, oh, here they go back to back. However, San Antonio was absolutely insane. I even have to put this at S tier. That game, sick game. Ray Allen, Chris, that play sticks out in so many people's minds.
Yeah, and like
you look at getting that, kicking it out.
You look at every single like game of that series, there was just crazy moments. Like in game 1, you had Tony Parker was like on the ground, had to get up the shot, got it. Then the second game, you had the Heat steamrolling the Spurs in the fourth quarter with like LeBron with that incredible block on Thiago Splitter. That's a nasty block. Game 3, the Spurs hit like an NBA Finals record of threes. Like Danny Green and Gary Neal were like otherworldly. Like I've seen so many things like from those first 5 games. It's like, oh, Danny Green Finals MVP because he was shooting like 70% from 3 through like 5 games.
As Cavs fans, we're kicking ourselves because we're like, we had this dude on the bench. Like,
at the end of the
we cut this dude, and he's going off in the final. This was a real kicking, like, and then Danny Green's been like a beast ever since. But like, oh my gosh! Also, not to forget, this was the rise. This is where everyone learned who Kawhi Leonard was.
Oh yeah,
him shutting down people. Like, obviously, the next year was incredible for him, but this was like, yo. This is the two best teams in the league going at each other for 7 games. It was incredible. It's S tier. It is S tier.
Yeah, no question.
Incredible moments, incredible storylines. The Heat go back to back. LeBron's like, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. He kept going off. I remember from that intro press conference, but they only got 2. And this second one, everyone thought they were going to go for 2, 3, 4, 5. They were just, especially after beating that Spurs team, because this was the 2 best teams. Everyone thought if anyone was going to stop them, it was going to be the Spurs.
Yeah, the Heat they were crazy. Of course, we all know the Ray Allen shot, but like, let's not forget how epic the Game 7 was too. Game 7 was amazing. LeBron went crazy. That was one of the games where like, everything was falling for him. He had the jump shot going. He was able to get to the basket.
This, as much as I want to say that Cavs LeBron is better, this 2012 and 2013 Heat LeBron nobody could stop him. It rivals MJ on that 95, 96 and his runs with the Bulls, like where he's going to make everything. He's going to dominate every facet of the game, and
The
there's
only
nothing
difference
you can
between
do
him and
about it.
Jordan is he also scares you in the passing game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The way he gets everybody involved is nuts.
Because who was it? I think it was Gilbert Arenas I saw do an interview, and he was like, this was by far the scariest, like LeBron, or just like the scariest team, because him and D Wade, after the 2011 finals, they stopped settling for like jump shots, and they started just attacking, and they started like trying to beat everyone down low. So it's like after that, they started attacking more. Dwayne Wade and LeBron just became scary.
Yeah, that team was this LeBron. I was gonna say, like, I know we're gonna talk about it later, but like the Cavs LeBron, like I know him against Toronto, it strikes fear into the people of Toronto. However, he struck fear into everybody. There was no him running down the lane. You get out of the way. You get out of the way.
Yeah.
I would have taken charge.
I don't think it was that it was obviously not that finals, but I think it was that, like, in those Heat days, he was jumping over a Bulls player for an alley-oop.
Dude, poor John Lucas. Oh, John Lucas.
Him completely clearing John Lucas. The Norris Cole Cleveland State legend, alley-oop,
Jason Terry,
and absolutely obliterating Jason Terry.
Oh man,
tried to kill that man.
That's the kind of LeBron that you saw every night in that finals and in those years in Miami. He was otherworldly.
Yeah.
Now we get his signature 3-point shot, which might be my favorite move in the league.
The look down.
Oh yeah, now it is.
I'm
no
not gonna
one can
say the
stop
actual
it.
name.
Oh, the look down, just nope.
No one can stop it.
It's so funny.
I know. All right,
It's
next
unstoppable.
finals. Let's go to 2014, the rematch, where the Spurs get their revenge off of like some of the greatest team basketball ball movement that basketball fans have ever had the pleasure of watching. They dominated. They dominated the Heat 5 games.
I'm gonna say C tier, and only because it was a dominant series and it wasn't as competitive as people thought it was gonna be. A, and I feel like the Finals MVP, Kawhi locking up LeBron. I think Timmy should have won another one.
I mean, I don't know.
I love Tim Ward.
See, I mean, locking up LeBron. I mean, he definitely because Kawhi did a great job, and LeBron put up 28 points on 57% from the field, 52% from three.
Yeah,
but
so I think
that's still locking him up back in those days. That's the thing. That's the thing. Like him.
Yeah.
I would also probably put it. I'm gonna go B tier just because of I'm a Spurs fan. I'm a big Coach Pop guy. I love Tim Duncan. I loved Kawhi at that time. Like that team basketball, like you said, Miles, was
otherworldly.
When you are a coach, like I wish Coach Cove was here and he could look at. I'd be like, Nick, this is what you need to show your team. And if you play like this is the gold standard of how to play as a team. Team defense, passing the ball, like there was no stopping them. Like I wish it was more competitive, and this was definitely we all saw it as soon as the Spurs were dominating. This is the end for the Heat and the Big Three, and this is when like okay, LeBron's gonna leave again.
Yeah, this was like the breakout. This was the Patty Mills breakout.
Patty Mills masterclass.
And then another huge piece in this final specifically was Boris Diaw. Ball handling or just passing maestro.
He froze.
Oh, I froze? Oh, I was giving shout out to Boris Diaw.
Shout out to
Boris Diaw indeed.
Shout out to Boris Diaw. Miles gets unfrozen. Shout out to Boris Diaw.
Wait, is that how it sounded on your end?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my
god. Like another guy.
I mean,
shout out to Boris Diaw.
Another reason I'm kind of like a little lower is because we gotta have some lower. Like I feel like everyone's I.
Yeah, we'll
Like,
see.
Oh,
Yeah,
we got plenty of more finals to go through.
Yeah, some of them
I'll put it in a C tier as well, just because it
I was
wasn't
gonna
that
say I'm cool
competitive.
with putting it as a C tier. I was gonna say it wasn't as competitive. This was definitely the downfall of the Heat, but I was gonna say we cannot overlook that gold standard and absolute class of the Spurs team, man.
Yeah.
All right.
2015, we have the
20
first of 4 Cavs Warriors finals.
D tier. This is a D. I might even say F in terms of other
How?
finals. Kyrie goes down. No Kevin Love. It was like,
First 2
and then
games.
Andre Iguodala wins Finals MVP.
I would also probably put it D tier, and
How?
I'll say D.
not even just because I'm a salty Cavs fan, but Gaga's got a great point. We lost Kevin Love in the first round. We lose if that first game was exactly how the rest of the series played out. This would have been an S tier finals, even if we didn't win. However, because Kyrie got hurt in that overtime, we had Matthew. Shout out to Matthew Dellavedova masterclass. He did his best, but there was no shot you're going to win a finals with Matthew Dellavedova as your starting point guard going against Stephen Curry and unanimous MVP. Like, there's no shot.
The finals also stinks because Andrew Bogut got a ring, and nobody likes Andrew
Jackson!
Bogut.
Why would no
about
one
that
like Andrew Bogut? He's a Cavs legend. Minute.
Cavs legend, man.
Come on. But
I'm not a Cavs fan, so.
dude, what in the that's I think that's crazy.
But I
We
mean,
can't-
and also,
you
like
can't
I said,
this is my only thing. You can't put the only finals to have 2 back-to-back overtime games in the first 2 games as a D tier finals. Though
Well, I
it
just
was
did, so
extremely
sue me.
it was extremely
So
close
sue
even
me.
with it was extremely close with the injuries through 3 games. Game 5 was extremely competitive, and not to mention this is like the biggest LeBron carry ever.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
this was so impressive. And I mean, this is like the first, of course, the rise of the Golden State Warriors. I mean, it's still, you got to
Yeah.
put
Start
some
of the
respect on
dynasty.
that names. I would
Start
Disgusting.
of the dynasty.
So,
But no, I'm sorry. I do have to. But with you have to. Injuries play a huge part. Like, I know you don't want and I know it was incredibly competitive, but when you're talking
like a
finals
single
and you're going like, okay, Steph, Clay, Draymond, Iguodala. I want
Harrison Barnes,
Iguodala.
Andrew Bogut.
Shout
Like,
out to Max Kellerman.
also, by the way, I have it in D tier because I think the wrong person won Finals MVP. I think this should have been Steph's first.
It should have been Steph's first. Even everyone,
Like, it was the same thing. Iguodala locking up LeBron. It's just not how it went. It's just not. And they
No.
like.
they
It's
didn't
crazy.
win.
Did they ever
because
give
Iguodala
like
locked up.
obviously Jordan never lost in a finals, but if Jordan would have lost, would they have given Finals MVP to somebody just because they locked up Jordan without actually locking him up? No, but they do it for LeBron.
yeah.
Yeah, I just have to.
All right,
just
I'll
because
put it.
I wish we you would have had your stars out there. If there was all the star power out there, even if we lost, you got to go A or S tier almost. Especially after that first game. That game was incredible, but I can't.
All right, majority rules. I guess we gotta put it in D. Man, that's tough. I wasn't expecting you guys to have it that low.
Can I start this next one, please?
Do it. 2016.
It's S plus. Is there like an extra tier? I mean, this as someone who actually watched this one, this is the greatest playoff series I have ever seen.
Is this the GOAT finals of all time?
And no, this is S plus because my sister was born 20 minutes before tip off of Game 7.
That is awesome.
Shout out to her.
And so we were driving home. It took 20 minutes. We were driving home and we got home right at tip off.
Nice.
Interesting.
And yeah.
What about you, Miles? I'm curious because I got a lot to say. Of course.
Oh well, of course. Well, this is.
I'll let you two talk.
Well, this is definitely S tier. It has.
I'm setting a timer.
It has everything you could ask for in a playoff series. Even though there was only one close game, that one close game was like one of the best games ever. It had some of the greatest plays in NBA history. Of course, you had the block from LeBron. You've got the shot from Kyrie.
That might be the most iconic LeBron James play. Actually, it
Yeah.
is.
No, it definitely is.
No.
You had, of course, there was the drama. You have Draymond Green getting suspended. The rivalry really turned up with this series. Um,
The double 40 game from the two stars for Cleveland.
it
Yep.
was just incredible. Now, of course, everything changes when Draymond gets suspended, but he deserved the suspension for everything he did in the playoffs. So I don't want to hear
And
anything
everything he does
about that.
now.
So
Everything he does now.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this to me is
Loser.
definitely S tier alongside the 2013 finals. I think those two are on the same level.
Can we make a tier above S, please?
As I say, anybody that doesn't put this S tier, I'm sorry, I don't get it. This is clearly S
I mean,
tier.
LeBron coming home, what they get for the city, like, I'm not even a Cavs fan, but that made me, like, I was rooting for the Cavs. I went to the parade. I did all that. I got a shirt for it.
I can't tell you how many tears I cried. Like that was incredible.
I did
just
not.
even being even if like as a Cavs fans being from the city of like that was meant so much. But not even just talking about that, like what Miles said, it had everything. Storylines. The Warriors were coming off the best regular season record in NBA history, and everyone's like, "Oh, here they go again."
Yeah, everyone had that chalked up as like a Cavs in or not Cavs in 5,
Warriors
in
in
5.
five.
Yeah, like Warriors in 5, Warriors in 6. And it was definitely looking like that.
I don't care. LeBron in 7.
Cavs got shellacked in the first 2 games. That playoff year, 2016 was a great playoff year. It had so many different storylines, but the amount of
You can't
blowouts
beat them, join
was
them.
ridiculous. Like there were
Oh yeah.
it was crazy how many just like 25-point blowout games there were.
I mean, that's the year Game 6 Clay was born, too.
Yeah, I wonder. I still like. Of course, the Cavs win. It's incredible and all that. But I still think about what if it was OKC versus Cleveland.
Cleveland would have still won.
I think so, but then Durant, would he have left? That's
No,
he wouldn't have.
Then everything changes.
No, and then the Rockets would have made the finals 2 more times.
I will say I went to Game 6 of that finals. I went to Game 6 of that finals in 2016.
That's got to be the loudest atmosphere.
I only sat for halftime.
That's
Everybody was standing nonstop. Right behind me, like in our corner seats where they were, was the ESPN crew. So I was talking to like Paul Pierce, Doug Collins, Stephen A. Smith was up behind me. Paul Pierce said he even said, being a Celtics dude, I was like, hey, who do you got? He's just like, I think Cavs got this. Oh man, that was
Paul Pierce made a good take.
I know, right? I know. I got to give him a shout out.
That's crazy.
No,
Paul Pierce made a correct.
I went with my sister Casey, dude. She even had. We all got fat heads because we were like behind the backboard. So when they're shooting free throws, we're all holding up.
Yeah.
My sister still has that hanging up on the wall. Like it was it's a picture of Uncle or of Mr. Roger from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and he's holding Steph Curry's new shoes at the time, which were the all white.
Oh
Curry
yeah.
That everyone was roasting our dad's shoes. She's not even a big she's a Cavs fan, but like she's not even, and she has like that whole series was just absolutely incredible. Game 7, best game in NBA history. Best Game 7 in NBA history. To me, it's the GOAT finals. Greatest of all time.
I agree, and yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I would have, obviously with the tier list, it would have to put them at 2013 and the 2016 finals both S tier. 2016. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, of course. All right, moving on. Of course, the next year or at that off season, Kevin Durant signs with the Warriors, and the Warriors roll over everyone onto a 16-1 record. Warriors get the gentleman's sweep victory over the Cavs. Where do we have this finals?
First year Kevin Durant, like, okay, it was kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie.
I would put it at C or D tier almost because it was not competitive. It's not competitive. I know we still had our team. This is the downfall of that Cavs big three. Kyrie leaves after this, but like, I don't get like how anybody would say that the Warriors weren't going to win that. Everyone knew that. Even after the Cavs won the year before, after being down 3-1 against that 73-9, but you're going from 73-9, making the finals, being up 3-1 in the finals, and then you add Kevin Durant. I'm sorry, everyone calls it the biggest snake move, but it's hard to not look at it as one of the biggest snake moves in the NBA.
Yeah,
and nobody had the Cavs winning, not even Cavs fans. Everyone's like, let's just hope it be competitive. Let's just hope we can be competitive and show something.
Yeah, I put it at C as well because they're the Kevin Durant ending of Game 3 that was great for them. Iguodala strips LeBron. Dude, the Cavs could have gotten such a better shot after that, and the Kyrie isolation. The Cavs choked Game 3.
Yeah.
Of that series.
I feel like I'm just discrediting the Warriors. Like they're getting I feel like a lot of people do that, especially Cavs fans, where they discredit the Warriors. But you got to give credit to the Warriors. That's a good team. If you have as a team, as a franchise, if you have a chance to add the former MVP,
you have to do it. I mean, come on.
You have to do it. And credit to them. They beat us. They absolutely destroyed us. And Kevin Durant was pulling up 5 feet, just walking down the court, pulling up 5 feet behind the 3 line and swishing it like nothing. Like he was unstoppable.
Yeah, and then we even had some in Game 4, the Cavs. That was like the greatest offensive performance in Finals history. So you got some record breaking there. We'll see when that gets broken because I feel like this is like the main year where like there was not much defense being played in these finals. Like even nowadays when offense is still like scoring a ton of points, there's still like gritty physical defensive matchups. That was just not the case in this finals. There was no defense.
Yeah.
So we'll put this in C because I
agree.
I'd say this has to be better than 2015 if you guys are basing it off the guys.
Yeah, no. It is. I was just saying. Great teams. Cavs big three coming off the championship. This was the biggest rivalry in the NBA at the time, even though they're in opposite conferences. Do you remember those Christmas games?
Oh.
Do you remember that 2016 Christmas game in that season? RJ Duncan over that team. Even the Cavs won that Christmas game. Even everyone knew we'd make the finals, but there were some people that had hope that the Cavs would make it competitive, but like you said, there was not much defense.
Yeah.
Cavs were outplayed, outmanned. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's tough to because that's definitely the greatest Cavs team of that era.
Yeah,
I'd say because you got Corver that year. Darren Williams just stunk it up. That was awful. But next year we gotta go. We can go to 2018 where the real NBA Finals took place in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
With the Warriors, Rockets. The consensus was Cavs were gonna get swept. But oh man, J.R. Smith, come on, man.
For meme ability, this is an S tier finals for meme ability, but
for which team should have actually been in the finals, this is an F tier, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was no shot. Kyrie left. Everyone knew the Cavs would still make it just because LeBron destroys everybody in the East.
There were definitely some questions though. Like I saw a lot of people because Indiana because of the first round series, but everyone was like, Toronto's the 1 seed, they'll beat them. If Philly makes it, they have the best roster in the East, they'll make it, which was still a question. That could have been, that could have been interesting.
So they ain't winning nothing.
I have a shirt that says LeBronto. Like there was no shot, even though Toronto was that 1 seed, there was no shot. LeBron could have beat that team with a bunch of Darren Williams around him. Like
that's what he had.
Like it didn't matter.
Took George Hill and J.R. Smith to the finals, but we should not. Cavs got swept. They should not be getting talked about with this. We need to give flowers to the Warriors because, I mean, they did what they're supposed to do. Durant was great. He got the Finals MVP because Curry had one stinker game in Game 3, but he
Yep.
had the NBA Finals record 9 threes in Game 2.
They didn't
You know,
deserve to be.
well, they won. They definitely look. I think the Rockets still would have won that series if Chris Paul didn't get injured, but the Warriors definitely could have won those 2 games as well. I mean, come on,
All Chris
Yeah.
Paul's fault.
all Chris.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
The
my
life of a
goodness.
Rockets fan.
Okay, so do we agree this is a D tier finals?
D tier, almost F, honestly. Almost F.
I'd put it F. We need an F tier finals. This is an F tier final.
I would almost put it F just
Actually,
because
no.
it was.
I'll say D tier just because LeBron also had that historic Game 1.
Yeah, man.
I'll say D.
Game 1 was good. After that, there was no shot.
No.
That was the one shot to take a game and almost make it competitive, but once JR, LeBron, like, there was no.
Game 3 was good too after Ty Lue finally put Rodney Hood in. That was a big thing then.
Rodney Hood.
Anyways, next year, 2019, we've got
2019.
the Toronto Raptors defeating the Golden State Warriors in 6 games. This is another like injury series.
This is a D tier one as well.
If a guy gets injured, it's automatically D tier.
It's
There's
not
no
just
way.
a guy. It was 2 guys.
No, this is not a D tier finals.
All right, I'll say C then. I'll give benefit of the doubt. I'll say C. Kawhi won one, but also, I mean, you had Clay and Kevin Durant go down, which taste their own medicine after 2015. But like,
to me, this is B. Because there were like 3 really, really, really good games, and we got some great performances from everyone on the Raptors all the way around, and the Warriors, they still made it very competitive. Like, Game 4 was the only, like, real, like, geez, how'd the Warriors just blow that game? But, like, every game was close. You had the, Iguodala, that was where we got the I want Iguodala shot.
I want Iguodala.
You had Steph with 50 points or something in Game 3.
Steph was unconscious.
The Warriors still won Game 5 with the guys getting injured. Game 6, Steph nearly won them that game as well. Like, this is still a very competitive final. This could have gone to 7 games, and the Warriors could have won.
Yeah. It's almost, I was going to say, it is almost like that 2015 where Steph kind of carried with, like, the way LeBron did. Like, I would probably put it C, almost B tier, but again, I do have to hold in injuries. Like, imagine that series with all their star players. Like, I'm not gonna discredit, like, put it in D tier because of injuries, because it was still a competitive series. And shout out to Toronto, man.
Yeah.
Houston Rockets legend Kyle Lowry.
Like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way Cavs fans
Greatest
felt
raptor
in 2016, it's almost like what Toronto and even Canada, because that's the thing, they're the only Canadian team in the NBA now. So, like, they won it for the entire country. So the way they felt, it's almost got to be reminiscent. I remember seeing, like, videos of, like outside of that arena and in Toronto for those watch parties and the reaction. It reminds me of how it was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Like,
right,
I gotta give a shout out to them.
We can go C tier on this one. We do not have a single B tier though, which I find very interesting. I mean, we could definitely go back and revise later.
Yeah.
All right.
I could even put that one B tier if you really want. I can
get behind B tier for that.
I was gonna say I'm almost at like a C plus B minus realistically.
Because when you look at the finals that we already have there, we have the 2012, 2014, and 2017, and those 3 weren't that competitive, and this one was competitive all the way through.
Yeah, I would put this at B tier then. I agree. It was still competitive even with the injuries.
Moving on to the bubble, we have the Lakers defeating the Heat in 6 games. What do you guys have this series?
F.
That's wild. That's just crazy.
How?
That's actually I think
Disney ring, Mickey Mouse ring.
Oh, come on, not even. This is the worst.
Shut up.
I'm kidding. I had to say it.
No.
You know what?
no.
Before we even get into this series, this brings up a great point. Did you guys see what Lou Williams said about the bubble?
No.
Basically,
Oh yeah, the Clippers stopped trying because
they
didn't.
took the
they
foot off the gas pedal
respect
because they learned that fans wouldn't respect the ring.
Like, shut up, Lou. You're an idiot.
No. That's not why you blew an 18-point lead in Game 5 to clinch the series. No, you lost.
That's not why Luka hit a step back 30-foot three in your face. Sorry.
Yeah. No, stop. That's a cop
But
out. That's a
I think
definitely a
I think
cop-out.
this honestly, I think this is B or A. With how just mental Jimmy Butler was in that series, I mean, that's when playoff Jimmy was born. I think
the birth of Hemi Butler.
Like seriously, like, and then I mean LeBron getting another one, Anthony Davis playing well. I mean, like every NBA player that's talked about the bubble, they all say it was more competitive.
Yeah, like I don't know why like people only have the Mickey Mouse stigma because it was LeBron. If anyone else won it, I don't think that would have been.
If like the Warriors would have won it, they would have been like, oh yeah, this is just another ring.
Yeah,
well, yeah, if they were even in it.
I just said Mickey Mouse just because it's the Mickey Mouse bubble because it's funny and it's what everyone talks about. However, I would probably put it at B tier as well. It was a competitive game. We got the birth of Hemi Butler. This Heat team, nobody thought that team was going to make it, and this is when it's like, hey, they may not be a good regular season team, but you get this team in the playoffs, nobody wants to play this team.
I actually had them making it, which is crazy. That was I had them making it. I thought the Bucks were frauds. I thought they were going to be bubble frauds.
I still think the Bucks are frauds.
Oh boy. Okay.
No, B or A. What about you, Miles?
This is tough. I'd probably have to go B as well because like the Heat were also injured. Goran Dragic was like one of their leading scorers, and he played like 2 games, but he was not himself at all. Bam was injured for a lot of that series as well. Like your second best player besides Jimmy, it was like Duncan Robinson or a rookie Tyler Hero. Who weren't that great. So
my guy.
So for that reason, I'll put this in B. Because this does not rise to the level of the Dirk Nowitzki Kobe rings at all.
Yeah, I agree.
So B, triple B's, Lonzo Ball.
All right, 2021 finals. This was one of the more competitive finals we had recently, and that was the Bucks and the Suns. This was a fun series.
This is when Chris Paul's addiction started. His
This was
1 year
series.
His 1 year addiction.
This was a team, like, I always root for the underdogs. I always root for the teams just being from Cleveland, like, rooting for the teams that don't get that chance often. So seeing the Bucks, who haven't won it since, what was it, Kareem?
Wait, you're from Cleveland?
Oh, my God. Really?
You've never said that.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, my lord. Yes, you're from Cleveland.
Relax. You're not even from Houston.
This was just a great this was a great series because just with these two teams because like you said the Bucks hadn't won since Kareem and they had been like repeatedly disappointing in the playoffs. And then you have the Suns making it and they hadn't made the playoffs since 2010 with Nash and Stoudemire.
People were loving Giannis. He's still at the height, but like that was the height of Giannis. Chris Paul, everyone wanted him to win a ring finally. The point guard, like
everyone was great. Like
this
Booker,
was a fun series plus to watch. Oh, shout out to your Phoenix shirt.
Yeah, Booker was good. Booker was good in that
Phoenix shirt.
Yeah, Booker was good, and I mean, half of those games were played on that beautiful Valley court. That is one of the best court and jerseys in history. That's gotta be top.
I would say black sleeved Cavs in those 2016 was nice, but
are we ranking this as a B tier again? I'm thinking B for this one, maybe A.
I would put it at almost A. This was a very fun series. I'd put this at A.
You know what? I'm putting it at A because
I agree.
Because think about all the moments we had in this series for the Bucks. In Game 4, you have Giannis blocking Ayton. Game 5, you have the Valley-oop, but it was for the Bucks.
Valley.
And then at game 6, you had Giannis going off for 50. I think this is A tier. Especially, we
Yeah.
had a team coming back from down 0-2 in the finals. Like, the Suns took the first 2 games in pretty convincing fashion, despite Giannis playing well. But Drew Holiday, Middleton, and Giannis all, came to play, and they won that series. Especially because that they really didn't get too much other help other than, I know Bobby Portis was great in game 6.
Bobby Portis was great in that at the end of that series. Yeah.
But yeah, I put this is an A tier finals.
I put it in more just like as a fan of NBA basketball, you root for both teams. You're like, I don't care how the result happens. I'm happy with either way. At least the way I looked at it, I was like, I don't care who wins. This is an incredibly fun and competitive series. Like, whoever wins, they deserve it because this is just incredible.
Yeah. All right. 2022, we have the Warriors after a few years off from the playoffs. We have them winning the title against the Boston Celtics in 6 games. Steph Curry finally gets a Finals MVP. This one's tough for me. I have this at either, I think I might lean towards B on this one, but maybe A. I
I
don't
would
know.
put it more at B.
Yeah.
Steph, well deserved, finally got his Finals MVP. Warriors, we said dynasty, or at least I did. They are a dynasty. Come on,
Yeah.
like
No, I
even those
agree.
years that they didn't make it,
They
come
still
on,
beat down on my team every
come
year.
on. You
Like,
can't count them out all the time, and then they come back years later. It's like, and then they win it. Like no. Also, I would put it at B tier. I was almost leaning C tier, but with B tier because Boston lost. I
wow,
love it when
Jason
Boston
Tatum
loses.
hater.
I always
I
love it
like
when Boston
Jason
loses.
Tatum.
I like Jason Tatum too, but I love it when Boston loses.
He had a rough finals too. Jalen Brown was their
He
best
did.
player.
Jalen Brown was the dog that series.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they let him only go right.
But yeah, Steph's man, the game 4 was great for Steph. You had a couple like long buzzer beater half court shots from Jordan Poole, which
Mm-hmm.
was great. Jackson, did we lose you?
He's been cutting it out. I think he's talking to his
Oh, okay.
roommate.
Okay, but yeah, this is, I'd put this as a B tier finals.
I would put it as a B tier.
That's
Hopefully,
definitely
Goglin
right.
gets back in here eventually.
Yeah, we'll see. He's off taking a break from his job.
I know. We can only have a certain set or standard here of professionalism here on the podcast.
Yeah. But last but not all the way least, but in that kind of area, we've got the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat last year. What do you think, Joey?
I enjoyed it. That's about it.
I enjoy. It
Nothing.
was nothing too special.
It wasn't crazy. Not a lot of great storylines. I know everyone talks about the biggest markets. These aren't the biggest markets. I was happy because my sister lives out in Colorado now, so I was rooting for
Oh
Denver.
yeah,
I'm a big fan of Jokic, so like, shout out to them. But like, it wasn't like anything crazy. Hemi Butler came to play as always.
yeah, a few games, yeah.
So
I was disappointed of this finals because like I had it as a 5 game series. I'm sure that was like a consensus thing that Nuggets
yeah,
were going to win in 5, and I wish that a different team made it in the East than the Heat because
I agree.
I feel like it would have been way more competitive and the storylines would have been so much better if it was the Bucks, if it was the Celtics, or even if it was the Sixers.
Imagine, I honestly would have loved to see like a Sixers go there just because I
Embiid and
want to see
Jokic.
Embiid versus Jokic. I want to see the two best players in the NBA that year because that's when you're talking storylines. Jokic won MVP. Everyone thought it should have been Embiid. Embiid won it this past year.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just the storylines I wish were there. Too bad they had Harden on that team.
Yeah, we lost
Oh,
Jackson.
we lost Goglin.
We lost Jackson. He has left us. Hopefully, he will return soon. Maybe he has to go to the
Yeah.
gym. I don't even know what he's doing.
He said he had to go to the gym, but
Oh,
it's
he
okay.
just asked if he was frozen. So I think he.
Oh, yep, there he is.
Okay, he's back.
Oh my gosh.
All right, welcome back, Jackson. We just did the 2023 finals.
Yep.
Well, we didn't give an official ranking.
Oh, we didn't. No, you're right. I was gonna say I would probably put it like D tier, honestly.
That's wild.
Honestly,
A
D
tier, A tier, A tier.
Jackson, what?
Stop.
Listen, man. The
He
legend of Nikola
he leaves and then starts to go. Hold on.
Nikola
The
Jokic
legend of
was born.
Jokic. Oh my.
Jamal Murray. The Jimmy Butler run obviously was amazing. Bam is great. Give me A tier.
Oh my.
It's majority though, so you guys. It sounds like you guys already agreed because you're a bunch of snakes.
you weren't here for.
Dude, I don't know
here
what
for us
happened.
discussing about it.
I froze. I think I'm too ugly for the screen.
You're beautiful.
I really
I
do.
think
You're beautiful.
I'm probably gonna put this at C tier.
All right.
And that's also like a middle ground because we're not putting it at B. This does not deserve B.
It's just meh.
There
it wasn't
no,
nothing special.
Yeah.
Like you goggling, you missed it, but I was saying it would have been better storylines, and possibly a better series if the Sixers made it and Embiid versus Jokic.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Harden could have had his chance at another ring.
He could have, dude.
Better than he would have had in Houston, obviously.
Oh my. But anyways, that is our tier list for the NBA Finals over the last 10 seasons. I'll review for the guys so we can make any revisions if we want. In S tier, we have 2013 and 2016. A tier, we have 2010, 2011, and 2021. B tier, we have 2019, 2020, and 2022. C tier, we have 2012, 2014, 2017, and 2023. And then in the D tier, we've got 2015 and 2018. You guys like that?
No F's, yeah.
I don't think that there's a F
They
tier
haven't been
finals.
that bad. If it was like a four, you know who I would put as an F tier if we did all the finals? It's like since 2000.
Well,
that
07?
2007 finals, the Spurs versus the Cavs. That was not even a contest.
Yeah.
That's an F tier. That was Spurs just manhandling. This is like a participation trophy for the Cavs making it to the finals.
If it would have been since 2000, we would have had another S tier. It would have been 2004.
Ooh.
I don't even think, because that wasn't even competitive. That was just a big upset.
But that's still the storylines and everything.
That's fair.
I don't know. A 5-game series.
I don't know if I would
S-tier.
put it at. I don't know if it would put it S tier, but definitely, I would put it at A tier.
Let's see.
But that's okay. We're only talking 2010.
Yes,
yeah, I agree.
That is correct. So let us know what you guys think about these rankings in the comments below. Lastly, before we end off, I've got a few guess the players for the guys.
I'm so bad at these. So bad at this.
Let's do it.
Let me open this up. I've got 3 of them, and I think you guys definitely are gonna be able to get these.
Okay.
I'm terrible at this. I'm a casual.
I've got like 5 to 6 hints. I'll say the first 3, and if you guys need the other ones, we'll go to them. But if you guys, just for time purposes, if you don't get them at a certain like length of time, we'll just move on.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, player number 1. We have an all-defensive player.
Dylan Brooks.
We have a player that has played with Darius Garland, Kevin Durant, and Shaquille O'Neal. And this is one of 4 players since 1980 to average 14 rebounds and 3 assists per game in a season.
Is it Drummond?
No, well, that's one of the 4 players with that stat, but that's not correct.
Drummond. Oh no, Drummond wouldn't work for Shaquille O'Neal.
No. Wow.
He's an international player.
International.
He's retired within the last 5 seasons.
Is it Varejao?
It is Varejao.
Wait, when did he make an all-defensive team?
Oh, 2009, 2010. Good job, Jackson.
I love Varejao. How did I not get? I didn't even realize he was an all-defensive player.
You know what you are. You know what
I'm
you
a casual. I'm a casual.
Casual.
I'm a
Dude,
casual.
I was looking at, like, dude, 4 players since 1980 to average 14 boards and 3 assists in a season. It's because he only played like 30 games, but I was just like, I went back
Hey.
and looked through because I was like, how many players have done this? And since 1980, it's Drummond, it's Bill Walton, and it's Charles Barkley, and then you have
And then
Varejao.
Varejao. Wild thing.
All right.
What a dog.
Good pull, Jackson. All right, player number 2.
I say. Casual.
We have a player who is a former 20-point scorer, a most improved player, has played with Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, and Russell Westbrook, was a part of a revolution throughout the NBA during his time.
A lockout.
First round pick in the late 2000s, and he played in 12 seasons for 6 teams. One of the teams he played in 2 stints.
2 stints.
And it's a retired player?
He's retired within the last 5 years.
Okay, wait, can you say who did he play with again?
He played with Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, and Russell Westbrook.
Former 20-point scorer.
I'm thinking of most improved player winners.
Oh yeah, you did say he won most improved
Most
too,
improved
right?
player, yes. Averaged 20
So let's see.
1 year,
Who
yes.
retired?
I'm trying to think.
Who was before Jimmy?
Was a part of a revolutionary time period throughout the NBA.
Revolutionary. That is.
Yeah, the lockout.
No, I'll just say no.
No.
Oh, never mind. I'm casual, like I said.
Wow, I can't think. I'm stuck on the.
Let me see. He's from he grew up in California. This player was drafted in 2008. First round pick in 2008.
Rudy Gay? No, he's still playing. He's still playing.
No, he's still playing.
He's still playing.
Yeah, part of a revolution throughout the NBA, has been a part of some of revolutionary offenses in his time in the league.
Not Danny Green. Danny Green didn't play on any of those. He played with.
He never averaged 20.
What other? Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think. Wait.
Okay,
I'm terrible at this as well.
Final hint. He's a white guy.
He's the what?
He's a white guy.
He's a white guy.
Not Mike Miller. Westbrook. Who played with Westbrook? It's not Steve Novak.
No,
Steve Novak never averaged 20.
If he's a white guy, he's obviously an absolute just sharpshooter.
Wait, I'm thinking who won most. Let's see. Let's go.
He's an absolute sharpshooter. Korver was drafted in 03, so it definitely ain't him.
You said 08?
Yes, 08.
Played with Westbrook, Chris Paul, and who?
Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, and Russell Westbrook.
Most improved, played with Dwayne Wade. It's not Mike Miller, is it?
No.
Oh, he was drafted way early.
Yeah, he was drafted 2000.
Dude, this is really something. I don't know.
Do you guys give up on this one so we can move on to the?
Not yet.
I do.
Oh, Jackson. All right, we'll give you like 30 seconds.
Honestly,
You said you had extra hints. Is there one more hint you can
I gave you the extra hints. I could. Oh man, what's
Like, was it? Oh wait, who was the first player drafted in 08?
I don't know.
That was what? Oh, is it Kevin Love?
It is not Kevin Love, but similar archetype.
Similar archetype.
Very similar archetype.
Who's a white guy that can shoot? That's tall and grabs boards.
Dude, you're so close. You are so close.
You're so. Oh no.
And you're gonna.
It's not Steve Novak.
And you're gonna be so mad if you don't get this.
Is it Chandler Parsons?
No, not Chandler Parsons.
Let me think. Played with Dwayne Wade. Chris Paul. Who played? It's not.
I was gonna say I'm stumped.
All right.
I'm gonna be really mad.
No, Blake was 2009. Yeah.
All right, Jackson. Are you we can move
Let's
on.
hear it. Let's hear it.
Just say it. Just say it.
Ryan Anderson.
Wow.
Think about it. He was one of the first like real stretch fours throughout the league.
Dude, him on the Magic back in the day was nuts.
And
I
on
was
the
drawing a blank on most improved players. That's
and on
on
the
me.
and on the Rockets. Yeah, he is a
Yeah.
guy that's like that no one talks about. Like most
No.
improved player, Ryan Anderson.
Ryan Anderson had a strap. He was a ball. He was a great
Well,
role
once you
player
said
that
once
any
you said
team
Kevin
wanted.
Love, I started thinking about rebounders more than point
Sure.
scorers.
Yeah, but like 1 year, Ryan Anderson, it wasn't even for the Magic. It was for the Pelicans. He averaged like 20
Yeah.
points and 7
For the-
rebounds.
Yep.
Yep.
Pelicans,
Man.
he had a
Yeah.
great. I remember that.
All right,
Wow. Great
final
player.
final player.
I'm mad.
This player was traded for an MVP. Throughout his
I
career,
think you did this one with me, I think.
Throughout his career, he has played with 3 MVP winners.
Oh yes, you did this one with me. Oh, who was it?
He has a brother in the NBA. And over the course of 6 seasons throughout his career, he started 450 games in a row without coming off the
Marcus.
bench.
Marcus Thorne?
Mikal Bridges.
No.
No. He's kind of the Iron Man. I don't know.
Which 3 MVPs did he play with though?
This player has played for 9 teams.
And 19. Yeah, that definitely would have been Mikal.
And he
Not
has
one of the holidays.
and he has beef. He has beef.
Beef. Where's the beef?
He's got a beef. He's got a beef with someone.
It's not.
No, Joey. Let's think MVPs who have been traded.
MVPs who have been traded. Kevin Durant.
Harden,
brother in the NBA.
Westbrook. Harden, Westbrook. You
KD.
got Durant. That's it.
That's it.
Is it Seth?
It's not Seth. Seth is a good. He's got Derrick Rose, maybe. He's been traded.
Who played with Derrick Rose? Or who was traded? Yeah, because it could have been someone who played with Steph Curry and
KD.
Durant.
Yeah. And traded. Oh man. Is he retired? No.
He is not retired. He is still an active player.
Probably. Is he like someone who gets active minutes?
Wait, Kawhi Leonard's also been. Wait, no, he never won MVP. He won Finals MVP.
You silly goose.
Oops. Let's
think.
You said he did this one with you, so I'm hoping I'm riding your coattails.
Wait. Was Derrick Rose ever traded?
I don't think I did
Derrick
this
Rose
one
was
with
ever
you,
traded.
Jackson.
Derrick Rose was traded. He was traded out of Cleveland.
Oh, you're right.
But he wasn't for an MVP, or.
Well, he was the MVP.
It was an MVP.
Let's think. Who was traded in the Westbrook trade? It was Chris Paul.
I don't remember trades that much, to be honest.
I'm a loser. How do I not know this?
Yeah, I'm terrible at thinking of. I love talking about. You bring up a name, I could talk about him for days.
Well, this should be in my wheelhouse right now. I'm kind of.
I think Jackson. I think you could get. He has beef. He has beef.
Well, it's not.
He was a full-time starter for 6 straight years. Has a brother in the NBA. Traded for an MVP, and he has played with 3 MVPs throughout his career. The 3 MVPs that he played with have combined to win the award 5 times.
LeBron. It's got to be LeBron.
LeBron was never traded.
He would have. Well, he doesn't have to be traded. He played with 3 MVPs.
Oh, he played with MVP.
No,
and it can't be LeBron.
And he was traded for an MVP.
Yeah, but he could have been. Yeah.
No, he could.
So I feel like, but LeBron has 4, and so that wouldn't add up.
The math doesn't work.
The math does not work.
So let's think. Kevin Durant has 1. Steph has 2. Who else has 2? Who else has 2? Giannis.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm struggling at thinking of stuff right now. I'm getting tired, clearly.
Okay, I can give one last
I'm
hint.
not
That would
tired.
probably give it away.
Let's
But,
hear it. You're clearly working with the bottom of the barrel here.
he's played with his brother before. He's played with his brother at some point throughout his
Not
career.
close to Fanatic. But his brother's not the MVP, obviously. Because it's not Giannis.
Well, he does have two brothers. I know.
Yeah, but it's not. Neither of them have started ever.
Oh yeah, that's true. Seth, no, we already said that. Oh my gosh, this brother is killing
I
me.
was thinking Lonzo, but then I was like, no, AD wasn't an MVP.
And this isn't like
No.
a crazy like brother. The brother that he has played with has made an All-Star game.
Brother that he's played with made an All-Star game?
Correct.
How many brothers? Brooke Lopez?
No.
No.
Robin Lopez?
Yes.
Is it Robin?
Oh.
I was
Yes.
like, wait a second.
Dang it.
I can't believe it took us so long for that. Wow.
Which MVP was he traded for? Was it Westbrook?
He was traded for Derrick Rose. Rose was traded from the Bulls to the Knicks.
Yep. I knew it was
Not
Derrick
just
Rose.
the Cavs
I
one.
knew it was
and
So
Derrick
you were
Rose.
supposed to know that.
And he's played with obviously Giannis, but to start his career with the Suns, he played with both Shaq and Steve Nash.
Oh.
You're a serpent for that.
Wow.
And he's got beef. He's got beef with all the mascots, man.
I was about to say beef with the mascot.
I think you did do that one before. I just forgot.
Really? Maybe I
on
did.
the old podcast, like way back.
Wow. That's a good one. I'm terrible at thinking of those.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well,
if,
in the comments below, if you played along, let us know if you guys got those.
I'm so good at Hoops Grid, but
I don't. One of you
most.
guys come up with a bunch for the next episode because these are always fun, and there's like literally unlimited players.
I will come up with a couple oldies because I'm an old man.
Yeah, oldies might be tough for us current guys.
That's why you're making it
Not
tough
me.
for me because I don't have a brain.
But yeah, is there? Let me see if any news has come out recently that we need to talk on. But I think that's really
No, there
all we
hasn't.
got.
I've been checking.
Okay, I think that's really all we have to go over. Are there any last thoughts that you guys wanna say?
There is news. Football fans, Puka Nacua is healthy this week. Put him in your starting lineups.
I got Puka.
He's good to go. Smart man.
Right. Any last things?
No, I don't think so. So next week, actually, never mind. We would have to talk about it off air. But next week we'll only have one episode, most likely, because of course Thanksgiving break. So we'll record next Monday, have one out for Tuesday.
When are you guys?
I was gonna say I think I'm booked like all Thanksgiving week.
You're the worst.
I know.
Yeah, I agree.
We're the worst.
I have to go. I have to go see LeBron play.
You.
I have to go see LeBron
my
play.
glory.
Hooping with the podcast boys is way more important.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, a like rating is greatly appreciated. Again, comments with feedback is huge for us as we're starting this thing and trying to improve each and every single episode. Jackson's takes were a little bit on the lenient side today with no Coach Cove, so it was a little bit better today.
Mine were great for the top 25 list. I don't know what you're saying.
Dude,
I'm in utter shock
one thing
right
I'll
now.
say before it, Sabonis has been he's making Nick look smarter, I guess.
He made AD look like a baby last night.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But Sabonis is not better than Luka. We will say that again. Anyways, subscribe for more NBA content. We're posting 2 episodes a week here on the Runnin the Paint podcast. Check out the IG, the handles on the screen. Link is in the description down below.
Runnin the Paint pod. Subscribe.
Jackson,
You could win a copy of Space Jam.
That's right. Never
I still
forget.
want one. I want a copy of Space Jam, please.
Subscribe.
Jackson at some point over the next millennial is going to create a X page. But
at some point.
Show on me.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you in the next one.